Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Is Ripple tricking XRP holders by hiding crucial facts surrounding how they're treating, how they're buying, how they're selling, holding XRP? That's what the SEC is claiming now. Some recent brand new allegations, frankly. And I gotta tell you, this is super rich coming from the SEC. Because the SEC themselves are doing everything they can to suppress very relevant evidence in this particular case. So I'll be talking about that in this video. Also, I've got some very interesting updates on the LBRY case. You guys familiar with LBRY yet? I've mentioned it in a few recent videos. And I'll keep digging into it as more information unfolds. LBRY is a cryptocurrency that, well, I guess they're the creators of it. LBRY is the creator of the library credit, LBC for short. And they're getting sued by the SEC now. And a lot of the claims are the same as what the SEC is claiming Ripple did. And as far as what they're asking for to make things right, it's very similar, actually. Not that everything perfectly lines up, but LBRY has actually come out in support of Ripple, actually. And so I want to share with you some specifics on that as well. I do want to be clear at the outset that I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos as a very fun hobby on the topics of XRP and Ripto. Let me try that again. On the topics of XRP, Ripple, and crypto. And that is indeed all that it is. So just want to make sure nobody thinks I'm someone or something that I'm not. I'm just a dude on the internet who may or may not be wearing pants. Now think about that. You don't even know what my pants situation is. You do not want to be taking advice from me of any kind. I'm just saying here. Now here's a couple tweets from Arturo Portilla. I want to start out with this. He's an attorney within the XRP community, and he wrote the following. For those wondering why I'm trying to help with what might or not end up being poor legal argumentation, here's the unsolicited answer. This case is more about fighting totalitarianism and delimiting the constitutional mandate of the government than it is about XRP. At this stage, we are way beyond childish crypto tribalism. This case transcends the realms of crypto and may touch aspects of your life you never thought it could. Imagine how stupidly wrong it would have been to believe that the SEC versus Howey only mattered to Orange Grove owners. Exactly. Imagine, because this is what got all this rolling, right? This Howey test. And just imagine if you thought that it only applied to Orange Groves. Well, as that apply that line of thinking to crypto, imagine if it only matters to XRP. It doesn't just matter to XRP, it matters to every cryptocurrency on the planet. If you're going to be in the United States at least, the implications of this are going to be very far-reaching. And so that's what leads to this article from Crypto Newsflash. Did Ripple know that XRP is different from Bitcoin? SEC to unseal alleged evidence. And so they are claiming that Ripple, they stated it, that Ripple's hiding information. And so here's the reason I think that's rich. And I want to cite this before I even go through this piece. The SEC, in coming to the determination of Bitcoin and Ethereum not being securities, there had to have been some sort of thought process. What were the interactions? Who was involved in this thought process? We don't know any of that information, but it's extremely relevant because if Ethereum today is not a security, how the hell is XRP not when there are so many striking similarities? And there are similarities between what Ripple has done in selling XRP and what the Ethereum Foundation has done in selling Ethereum. Striking similarities. And so this is perfectly relevant. Absolutely relevant. So Ripple, they're insisting that the SEC share all of their documents on this topic. And given the relevance of this, it seems extremely important, does it not? We'll probably all agree on that. Well, the SEC is doing everything they can to combat that. They're saying that it's not relevant, has nothing to do with it. They said that getting that many documents out would be burdensome. All of this BS, all this nonsense, I'm not buying it. Doesn't make a damn bit of sense. And then they have the guts to come out here and claim that Ripple is hiding information. Check this out. So Jorge Tenrero, a senior trial attorney at the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, may have hit Ripple on a sore spot during the discovery phase currently underway. In a letter to Magistrate Judge Sarah Netburn, Tenrero claims that, quote, Ripple continues to hide critical facts relevant to this case from its investors, end quote. This is troubling, they say, and underscores the need for disclosure requirements to protect investors, he claims. As reported, Ripple executives Chris Larsen and Bradley Garlinghouse had denied an SEC request on March 11th to produce certain personal financial information. However, the regulator stressed in a response that the financial records could be relevant to proving the individual defendant's sanity and their efforts to increase the value of XRP. Now, in support of these claims, the SEC has now disclosed emails and communications that Ripple may have preferred to keep hidden. Among other things, the SEC has produced an email between Larsen and a third party in which he expressed, and there's a quote, it expressed his understanding of the legal risks he took with respect to XRP, end quote. Yeah, and so understanding that there are risks, and you understand that there are risks because there is not sufficient regulatory clarity, is different than saying, oh, there's clear law here, I'm going to break your stupid laws because I don't like it, and I'm a jerk. Very different. Very, very different. And so that's why, to me, like, this piece of evidence, introduce it, whatever, I don't care. It does not prove that there is some sort of ill intent. You know, if anything, it highlights the fact that Chris Larsen, in this case, recognized when he was founding this company the risk that he was taking even by holding XRP because of the lack of clarity. SEC. Anyway, second piece of evidence relates to Larsen's funding of a company called MTQ EXS A&B, which sold hundreds of millions of XRP to the public. And by the way, so mind you, I've been following XRP and Ripple on a daily basis since November of 2017, and I've never heard of that before, ever. I mean, if I ever came across my eyeballs, then I certainly didn't retain the information, but that seems like something odd. MTQ EXS A&B, never heard of that at all. I'm aware of XRP2 LLC, which is a registered money services business that Ripple founded to sell XRP after the lawsuit and ultimate agreement between FinCEN and the Department of Justice. Like, I'm aware of that, but MTQ EXS A&B, never heard of the damn thing, but sold apparently hundreds of millions of XRP to the public. So that's news to me. If you guys know anything about that, let me know, because I actually did spend just, admittedly only a few minutes, but I did spend a few minutes at least trying to look stuff up on the internet, and nothing came up. So if anybody of you out there have any information on this entity, whatever, I don't even know what the hell it stands for, MTQ EXS, let me know, and I'll be happy to credit you in a future video. But that's all I know on that to this point. But anyway, moving on. The SEC thus counters a central argument of Ripple's lawyers that, quote, the economic substance of a transaction in XRP is no different from one in Bitcoin or Ether. To support this argument, the SEC cited two internal Ripple communications purporting to show that Ripple was aware of XRP's disparity with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And here's a quote. Evidence developed by the SEC shows that Ripple transmitted to third parties at least some version of the legal memo at issue on at least 18 separate occasions, and that indeed it also shared with third parties the content of additional conversations not reflected in the memo itself it had with counsel about the subject matter of this memo. Yeah, and so it goes back to this whole concept, though, of like, and I've mentioned this before too. Imagine that the SEC was coming after Ripple and claiming that the sky was purple. Imagine any humans just claiming that. I don't even care who it is. The sky is purple. Well, clearly the sky is not purple, but if you are aware that that is a claim that they might make, like, you can acknowledge that there's a risk they might make this stupid claim, it doesn't mean the claim is true. So the fact that Ripple shared this with anyone doesn't matter from a logical perspective. Now, I don't have a law background, so if there's some sort of, if this is actually a good legal pursuit for the SEC, fine, have at it. From a logical perspective, this doesn't make a damn bit of sense. It doesn't matter. It functionally does not matter. It really grinds my gears, guys. All right, into the next topic here now. LBRY. Let's talk about LBRY because they say that they are supporting Ripple. I'm going to start with this, though. So here's a tweet from LBRY. And they wrote, this is interesting. That I sympathize with the line of thinking here. And so they wrote, after a banning, and so they're speaking in generalities. After a banning, why don't you build your own platform? After a deplatforming, why don't you build your own decentralized protocol? Okay. After the lawsuit against the decentralized protocol, why don't you build your own country? So do you get it? There's no way to freaking win right now. In the United States, there's no way to engage with crypto here. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. And so they wrote this, please sign the petition at, and then I'll highlight in a second, they got a change.org petition here. They wrote, demonstrable popular support will encourage legislators and officials to take a stand and spur influencers to share our story. And so here's what they wrote on the change.org petition. The Securities and Exchange Commission is attempting to make virtually all cryptocurrencies in the United States illegal to freely transact and exchange. We live in a world where big banks crashed the economy in 2008 with almost no punishment. Robinhood sides with the suits against the little guy without retribution. Big tech exploits and abuses us freely. And what does the SEC do? The SEC goes after blockchain and cryptocurrency, which is one of the best hopes the people have to take back control. The decentralized LBRY network is used by tens of millions of people. The token has clear utility and is not a security. Under the standards established in the SEC vs. LBRY Inc., nearly all cryptocurrencies would be deemed illegal to freely use. We call on the SEC to drop this case and establish clear standards for the cryptocurrency industry in the United States. Bravo. So in particular for that last part, it's the same thing that we in the XRP community have been saying for months now. If XRP is a security, everything else is too. Because look at the arguments the SEC is making to prove that XRP is a security. It applies to everything, at least that's not Bitcoin, and it's disgusting. I can't imagine that that this is going to go well for the SEC. But if it does, it'll just be a tragic injustice. It really would. That would be some serious bad law, and it would have far-reaching consequences and a serious economic impact, at least in a major way for the United States people that live there. Which, you know, I'm one of them. I live in the Midwest in the United States. I don't like seeing any of this stuff, and I certainly love my country, but this is garbage. And so then there was this tweet from LBRY. LBRY supports Ripple. We support the free exchange of all cryptocurrency. We were advised to not discuss anything related to the SEC until the case became public. We're happy to do what we can to support Ripple now. And so I'm actually willing to give them a pass on that one, the fact they didn't speak out prior to this, because here's the thing, and I don't technically know this for sure, but typically, this is my understanding after just following a bunch of lawyers, when the SEC brings a suit against a company, it's not out of the blue. That would be exceedingly rare. Instead, they'll first contact the company and try and work things out, ideally reach a settlement. And then, of course, if a settlement can't be reached, then you litigate. So it's highly likely that for some time, perhaps years, because LBRY's been around since 2016, perhaps years, they've been dealing with the SEC. And given that there's a potential suit, I don't blame them for not having any public statements having anything to do with the SEC. So if indeed that's the case, as long as this wasn't out of the blue from their perspective, from my perspective, they deserve a free pass. That's just, you can disagree, and that's fine. I appreciate diversity of thought, but that's the way that I'm looking at this. And then there was this also, and this is directly from LBRY's Twitter account. We're not joking when we say that if the SEC wins versus LBRY, almost every single cryptocurrency in the United States will be a security. This isn't an exaggeration, it's reality. And so it's going to be interesting to see how many other entities that didn't rally around Ripple, perhaps for tribal or ideological reasons, let's see how many of them rally around LBRY. Because I'll tell you what, if they don't, at some point, they're next. I don't know if they'll be the very next, but they will be next. And so people, like, we have to fight back. Not in a physical sense, obviously, but you've got to fight back against this stuff. And it's been really regrettable seeing how little support Ripple has received from the rest of the world of crypto. And it's like they don't realize that they're on the chopping block next. Like, they should be doing everything that they can. And there are some people that I'm happy to credit, like, for instance, Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson. He came out very early on and said, hey, XRP, of course, he doesn't believe for a moment it's a security. And he better, though, because if XRP is a security, what about all the Cardano that he sold? He's going to have a problem, too, then. He's going to come up. He's going to get hit at some point, too, if there isn't sufficient clarity around this. So, and I'm not claiming that he sold unregistered securities. I'm just saying this is what the SEC is doing. So I appreciate that Charles Hoskinson came out and said what he said about Ripple and XRP. So it is what it is. You know, there's going to be tons of additional information in the coming days and weeks, and I'll keep updating you as I learn and sharing with you opinions from lawyers as I come across them. But there's a long way to go in this fight. But the good news is if Ripple gets some sort of favorable outcome here, which I personally think is more likely than not, they'll be, other than, you know, Bitcoin and Ether, like, actually, even Bitcoin and Ether, I'm not convinced that they're going to be protected, but Ripple actually and XRP would be the most protected in the entire crypto space, because even though, like, we keep saying, yeah, Bitcoin and Ether are protected, there's no binding legal action that was taken that makes that so. And so there's also different people in charge of the SEC now, so absolutely they can go back and be like, no, Ethereum, you were selling unregistered securities. They absolutely can. But there's such a thing as double jeopardy in the United States. And so once this is done with Ripple, you can't come after them again for the same reason. So actually XRP in the United States would be the most protected cryptocurrency in existence, even more so than Bitcoin and Ether. So in that sense, yeah, it's not fun to go through this, but as long as it goes the way we think and hope it will, it's going to be a blessing in the end. It'll be a blessing in disguise. And then all sorts of other entities won't be afraid to adopt XRP for X number of use cases, including banks and remittance firms utilizing XRP via on-demand liquidity for, you know, just XRP as a bridge currency. So could in the end be very good. But I'll go ahead and wrap it there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.